Extreme Stroke Over. On-Court Transformation with Jack Broudy. Lesson number 2. Figure 8. Okay, let's take a look at a rank beginner, Michelle. Never had a lesson in her life, but she's a pretty good athlete. But here's the typical mistakes a first time or a beginner will do when they play tennis. Number 1, they get their racket back early, waiting for the ball back here, and they're letting their arm do all the work. So that's number 1. Number 2 is they're swinging with their arm. See that? She's holding her body sideways and swinging with her arm, meeting with the ball straight on. And number 3, they roll the racket face over because they're afraid the ball's going to go long, or they're trying to put topspin on it. So the first thing I did was I told Michelle about the 45-degree angle. And you can find that in lesson 1. If you haven't seen it already, you're going to want to go back to it. You can see there's a red arrow right at the 45-degree angle to the net. And Michelle is concentrating on keeping her racket right along the path of that 45-degree angle. See that? She goes from small and she reaches out big to the 45-degree angle. So that's the first thing I got her to do, is focus on the contact point. Second, we started doing the figure 8. Watch how she rises up and around the corner here. And we do a sideways 8 or an infinity sign. And she comes down and then rises through the center. See that? And then to the other side. So first you want to do this with your fingers pointed like Michelle has here. See, she comes around the corner and then up through the center again. And she continues in this infinity sign motion. The next thing she wants to do is learn to move her hips with her arms. And we did it on an 8-board, as you can see. She's rotating from side to side. Next, you want to try and do this with the racket. This is the universal stroke. See how she's rising up? You see that nice infinity sign? And see how the body's moving with the arms now? And you can learn to do this in a matter of minutes. So now what I did is I put the 8-board down at the 45-degree angle, have the figure 8 there so she remembers how to move her hips, and kept the 45-degree angle. You can see she started already turning. See how she's using her body, and her arm is staying fairly close to the 45, but her body's moving in both directions. This is creating momentum and absorbing the hit with her entire body rather than her arm. Watch again as she turns her feet. See how her knees and her hips turn to the right? And then they continue in a figure 8 out. And look at that racket go out towards the 45-degree angle. So with just a couple of tips in about 20 minutes, Michelle can actually hit the ball now with a semblance of a player. Because this is the essence of the stroke. Right? Keeping your racket along that 45-degree angle and your focus right there, and using a figure 8. Let's take a look at Ryan Harrison, good upcoming American, and let's see how he uses the same 2 principles. You can see there, his hips are completely around here, and see his racket is pretty close to where Michelle's is. Now he comes around, look at those hips start to come around. See, now they're opening. Same with Michelle, right before she hits the ball. And as you can see, now his hips are all the way around. Look at his knees, they're facing the net, just like Michelle. So she's brought her knees forward. So to see a great player like this, right? Ryan Harrison, top American, look at those hips. Pow! Michelle can actually get an idea of how to play like a pro in one lesson. Looking good. Let's take one more look here. Here's the before picture. You can see her side is to the net. She's swinging her arm only. She's meeting it, and the racket's getting wobbly, and it folds over as she hits. And now the after the 45 and the figure 8. Look how she's moving slowly, locating the 45 right away. And now she moves her hips and her arm with the speed of the ball, never stopping, and it comes out towards the 45, and a very nice finish.
That's great.
Now she's facing the net again, ready to play.
Nice.
Great job, Michelle.